Hello guys, welcome to another video of this do-it-yourselfer channel. Uh, Today we're gonna be replacing the belt on a Speed Queen commercial washer. Uh, a lot of washers, they're very similar to this. It doesn't have to be a commercial. Um, Obviously you have to check to see if it's the same, but today we'll be working on a Speed Queen machine. The claim was that the belt, well, it was not working, and that the belt it's tearing apart. So if you haven't done so, if this is the first time you're changing the belt, well, it'll be a good idea to change the belt and the tensioner with the roller and everything. There's a kit for it. For the kit that I ordered this kit. It's from Alliance Laundry Systems, and this is a number 959P3, which is the kit idler lever and belt. Kit idler lever and belt. All right, this is the kit you need for completing this job. Just because the fact that the tensioner device have the tendency to go bad, and that might be a reason why the belt is just not lasting the way it's supposed to be. So let's just get started, okay? So we're gonna start by removing these two bolts on the bottom. I believe they're 5/16 bolts. Just remove them. Has two of them. The other one is not there. And all you have to do is pull and kind of twist it, and the cover will come out. Gotta put this on a safe place because they get lost pretty quick. Now before I continue, we gotta make sure that the washer is disconnected because we're gonna be removing the motor. So let's make sure it's disconnected, okay? All right. Okay, in order to remove the motor from here, well, we have to take these bolts out, also the ones on the back right here, and to facilitate the removal, there's this spring that it's on its way, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove it, just that one. And what you do is you grab a good pair of pliers and pull it, and just like that, just leave it on the side. Okay, now we're ready to remove the motor, but before we do that, we're gonna take the capacitor out too. And the capacitor, gotta be careful, don't touch the ends because it might be charged. Capacitor stores energy, and a 5/16 socket will do the trick on the removal of the capacitor. You don't have to completely take it off, just loosen them up and put it aside, just like that. Okay, now it's time to remove the bolts. I'm gonna remove the bottom ones first and then the top one, so that way I can hold it. In order to remove the back bolt, you're gonna need a 1/2-inch socket, and it'll be good if you have an extension, so that we can run it through here and just start loosening it. I don't know if you can see the dust right there. That's from the belt that it's getting all damaged. And I'm suspecting the damage is because the tensioner, it's not, or is damaged already. So we're gonna take these bolts, and I'm just gonna put it right here, so that we don't lose it. Let's take the other one on the other side too. So right here on the back. So now we have to remove the ones on the top. The top ones. Well, before removing the top bolts, I'm gonna get the water hoses. There's some water gonna drip out. I'm gonna put some towel. But yeah, let's remove the hoses. And there's a little bit of water is gonna come in out because of the bin. It holds a little bit of water, and you might want to put a towel so that way it'll suck the water. See that? All right, so we got to remove both. There's two hoses, the inlet and the outlet, and let's just proceed by removing both. Got it loose. Okay, I have to loosen that a little bit more because it's putting pressure against the lip. Okay, now let's see if it's easier. Okay, yeah, so I got both. I got both bolts out. I mean hoses. Still a little bit of water coming out. All right. So now I'm gonna proceed by removing the top bolts. And there it is. Getting it out, and I'm gonna get this one too. Okay, so now the motor dropped out. Okay. I want you to take a look, attention to this connection, and well, the belt is still on it, so I'm gonna have to remove the belt. Yeah, just by removing the belt, you have to kind of go through the back and take it off. Okay, the belt. Okay. So now we can push the motor a little bit out. Now for the next step, I'm going to remove these two bolts right here, 5/16, and I'm gonna remove these two, and I'm gonna show you why I want you to remove this in a little bit. Now, by the way, I put the towels on the bottom so that way it will not go all the way down. Okay, so now we take the cover off. Now this is the important thing. We need to remove the connection, and with the cover it's kind of hard. So you push this thing up and pull it. Now, to install it, you gonna have to do the same thing. These little pins right here, they're very, very weak, and if you put the connection wrong, the machine will not work and it might burn. So now we got the motor out, and I just want you to see how bad the tensioner is. See that? That's what is causing the problem, likely. Look at the belt. It's just all torn apart. And well, that's what we gonna be working on. Okay? So let's get it done. Okay guys, in order to remove the belt, we have to take the water pump, and the pump, it has 3 clips, as you can see right there. It has 3 clips. Okay, and the clips, what you do is you put pressure in here and pull it out. Same thing on the other ones. Put pressure on the stomach and pull it at the same time. Same thing with this one. If you have a little bit of troubles, use pliers. Now that we took all 3 clips, the water pump just pulls out. See how dirty it is? That's because of the belt getting damaged. And see how bad everything is in here. Look, everything looks really in bad condition. Okay, so let's get it done. So I am gonna get the belt off. Okay. Look how bad everything is in here. Look at the roller, it's all damaged. It was probably damaging the belt. Okay, now we're gonna take the spring tensioner from here. This is what it's supposed to do, but it's all messed up. Okay, gonna get it out. I'm gonna get this out in here. Okay. Okay guys, so after I soaked a little bit of the WD-40 into the bolts, or inside the bolts, I'm gonna grab a number 10 socket, and I'm gonna remove these bolts out of here. Okay, in order to remove or to change the tensioner, we have to remove it because there is a nut holding it through the bottom. So that's the only way we're gonna be able to remove it. So let's proceed and take these bolts out. The nuts. Okay, we have to remove the whole cover. These things are a little bit rusted, but that's why we need WD-40. And this one. Now that we have removed, we're gonna proceed by removing the cover. Okay, so now we're in the process of removing the cover, but before you do, I want you to see this ground wire. But this is a clip, and what you do is just push it out. Push it out like this. Try not to damage it, so that we can reuse it. You see, it's a clip. and that'll be a good time to clean this the ends of it. So now we're able to remove the cover. See, now we remove the cover. It's all out. Okay. I'm gonna put it right here and turn it around. Okay, so now this is the one that I was talking about, that bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, but before that I'm gonna soak it with WD-40. I'm gonna let it stay there for quite a few minutes before I remove it. And on the meantime, I'm gonna clean all this metal, which is pretty dirty, before I put the new tensioner. Look how bad it is. See guys, this is what the damage was doing. That's why it wasn't working properly. Okay, it just gets, that's the way it gets. So now we soaked it with DW40. We're gonna grab a 1/2 inch. I'm sorry, this is not a 1/2 inch. This is a 7/16, and hold it on the other side, so that way we can go ahead and proceed by removing the tensioner. Okay, see, and we got the tensioner out. It's a mess, a big old mess. Okay.
¿Alguien quiere café? Porque ya lo voy a pagar.
Now we got the whole frame out. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit before I proceed and install the new one. Okay guys. Okay guys, so this is what it came on the new kit. This is already put together, but if not, there is instructions on how to put every washer and ring all together. But it came already together, the new spring, the nut, the screw, and the washer. Alright, so this is all we need to putting it back on in here, and we're gonna proceed. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the washer, we're gonna put it in the bolt. This slot goes in here, and the bolt goes right inside there. I'm gonna put this holding a little bit. So this is how it's gonna look. A new bolt. Okay. We're gonna turn it around and we're gonna put the nut in there, and I'm gonna proceed by doing it. Guys, so I proceeded by installing the bolt, the tensioner, the nut on the other side. Okay, that looks very good. Now we're gonna proceed by put this in the motor again. Okay, now we gotta remember which way this thing was, so let's figure it out. So one way to remember easily which way it was is just to remember the capacitor. The capacitor, it was on the connection side. Okay, on the connection side. This is how it was, and we're just gonna install it. Let it go through all the bolts. Make sure it fits in on all of them. It's kind of tricky, but eventually you'll get it. Okay, so by giving it the proper push, this thing will go into place. Now another way to find out if you have it right is by checking into these holes, and they gotta match that, and everything seems to be matching pretty good. Okay, so we got it going. This thing looks pretty smooth, it's strong, it's in place, and let's continue with it. I'm gonna be putting the nuts, but I'm going to put WD-40 into each one of the bolts, so that way they stay lubricated and protected from rust a little bit. Okay. And yeah. We have to remember that number 10 was the one that it worked really good. I'm gonna tighten them up. Okay. I'm gonna tighten them up, all of them. Now don't forget about the clip. The clip what's in here. You gotta push it up. I'm gonna use some by hand, but okay. So I got it on there. Okay. Ground and everything. I am going to put the new spring. Okay. I got the new spring. Alright. Let's see how it works. Oh yeah, it has a lot of tension. This is the way it's supposed to be. The other one, it was already very worn out. Now everything looks good and steady. Okay, so as a final thing, we gotta put the pump in place with the new belt, which we supposed to have it on the kit right. All right. Now, the trick to put the belt and the pump is this. You know, it's got two legs right here. It's got three legs, two in here and here. Now, the trick is that you're gonna hold the belt like that, and this is the only leg that the belt is gonna be out. The other two, they're gonna be inside, but this is gonna be on the outside. That's the trick of it, okay? I'm gonna show you in details. I'm gonna hold the belt like this. I'm gonna put the pump. Oh, this thing's gotta match. Turn it. We have to make sure this thing turns. Okay, so it's going in right now. Okay, and I got it. So as you can see, I got the belt inside on these two, but outside on that one. That's the trick. Qual? So now we're gonna proceed by putting the clips on. Now let me tell you guys, I forgot to tell you at the beginning that some of them, they have screws right here on the holes right here, but this one, it came with a clip in which you just put it on, grab it from the fat part, the stomach, or whatever you want to call it, and push it, and you got it in. See that? So this is the way it's gonna go. The belt is gonna go and hold the back of the pulley, okay? But we can put it on after we install the motor. By installing the motor, it's just the reversal of how we took it out. Okay, so it shouldn't be any problem. So all right, so we're gonna put the other clip right here, push it from the stomach, and the clip is in. That's how easy it is. It's actually easier to put it back in than to remove it. Same thing with this one. Push it, and we got it. See? All right, this is how it works. Okay. Alright, so now it's time to install the motor back on its mother stomach and it's ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna take it out over there. This is gonna go like this. Alright. Okay, see, this is the beauty. It's working good. So I'm gonna put the motor back over here, and I wanna install these correctly and very careful because of the pins that I told you. That's why I like to remove the top cover to see exactly what we're doing. Okay guys, so I'm about to install the switch, and like I say, we have to make sure it grabs all of the switches. If you don't do this right, it will not work properly. Make sure it clips on, and I hope I got all of them right. It's just that you cannot really see, but it's better to do it without the cover. Sometimes the end of this end pin, it will bend, and if you break it, that's a bigger problem right there. So we're gonna put the cover back on in here. Okay guys, I'm putting the cover back on. This cover is just for water protectant, just in case the water leaks or something like that. Other one. All right, and now we can put the motor back on. It's a little bit tricky because with the two hands it's kind of hard to do it. It's not impossible. It's doable, but you know, basically you have to put this on the back and put the bolts where they belong, you know, in this case. And I'm gonna try to do it. Just 1 second. Okay guys, so with one hand, if you're by yourself, grab it from the bottom and try to put the top bolts first. It's easier because the bottom ones, it has a slot, and you are able to manage this thing a lot better. But once you have the ones on top down, the bottom one, it's a lot easier to put it on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bottom bolts. Okay guys, so I managed to put the bolts back on. Now it's time for me to put the hoses. I'm going to put the I'm going to install the C-clamp inside first, and then I'm going to put the hose in place. A little bit tricky. It's a little tricky, but it's not impossible. Okay, just put the clamps facing towards you, And now it's time for us to tighten them up. Let's get the clamp tightened up. Alright, it's time to do the other one. Basically the same way we did the other. Loosen it. Okay, tighten this up. Okay, so we basically have everything on there. All we want to do now is to put the belt. Camera is gonna be a little bit hard to catch, but the tensioner, it has to be the belt has to be around the tensioner, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. In order for me to do that, I'm gonna hold the tensioner all the way out and yeah, and put it around. Okay, now we're done. So we got the belt right on. It's right on place. It's around the tensioner. I don't know how to make this thing for you to see it, but it's around the tensioner. Well, let's put the capacitor back on. Alright, and the last thing we gotta do is to put the spring back in place. The spring, I gotta make sure it comes out through there. Yeah, like that. It has to come out through the hole in order for us to put it on this hole right there. That's where it goes. And once we've done that, it's pretty much set. I'm gonna grab the spring, and I'm gonna bring it all the way over here to the hole, and we got it. Try to center the drum back to where it was. The springs are gonna do the job to put it all the way in the center. And it's all done. All we have to do is test it out and see how it works. Okay guys, I'm gonna put the cover back on and we'll test it out. Okay guys, so I put the cover back on, plug it in and turn it on. I put the quarters, and this puppet's working like a champ. It's in use. It's hardly making any noise. And hey, you know, we got this belt probably running for quite a few more years. So guys, this is it. We just changed the belt and the tensioner. We did a really good job in here. It was not that hard at all. It takes about an hour and a half maybe, if you take your time. 2 hours if you do it slow. And this is it guys. If you liked it, please put the thumb up and turn on the bell so that way you can see all my videos. I got hundreds of them. And I'll see you on the next